Ian, thanks for joining us. Our monthly catch-up with Visiting North Yorkshire. One thing that's been absolutely certain is the weather has been fantastic, hasn't it, really? Not throughout May, but certainly the start of June has been great. And that will help matters, won't it?
Absolutely. The weather, especially over that all-important half-term week, was just incredible. That brings people out in droves, doesn't it? People are a little bit giddy because we're getting close to that all-important 21st of June date, aren't we? But the fact that they could just get out with that little bit of freedom, or that extra bit of freedom, crazy as it sounds. I mean, we were the same. We did an awful lot for Visiting North Yorkshire in that half-term week. We got out to loads of places. We went round Staithes, Whitby, Pickering, Gromont, pre-Indiana Jones filming Gromont, Beedale, Druid's Temple at Ilton, on the Swinton estate. That's a fantastic little place. It looks a little bit like a mini Stonehenge, but I mean, it's not as old as Stonehenge. It's only like a couple of hundred years old.
Yeah.
Really, really atmospheric. Spofford Castle, Kirby Overblow, places like that. We like to get out to the less known places as well. Great week. Loads of photos that we're still processing through, but lots of people around as well. It was good to see the tourism flowing again, the economy flowing again, because, my word, people need it, don't they?
They so do. And 21st of June, of course, you've already mentioned it. We've got a night of the round table. We've got a sir willing to put his head on the chopping block to not resist arrest and to be banged up in prison behind bars because he wants to open his theatres on the 21st of June. It's all building up to this magic day, the 25th. That's when he really wants to go for it for the weekend. And Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber is just ready to do that. What does the 21st of June mean for you and Visiting North Yorkshire?
Basically, that is the date that there is supposed to be no more social distancing rules. So no more limited numbers for this, that or the other. People, the music venues can reopen, like you've mentioned with Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah. Nightclubs as well, for those that are that way inclined. I think the only thing that's likely to remain is that face masks in certain locations. It's a little bit grey as to what those locations will be. But trial events that they've had have shown no increases in infections. So I would like to see that 21st of June date stuck to. I don't think we need any more uncertainty now. I mean, that's the big thing for Visiting North Yorkshire. We have been pushing so much about all the various stages of reopening, and this is the final hurdle. I don't think people need it. I don't think business deserves it. I think if they did put it back, I think it would be a little bit of an overreaction, really. I mean, They've been saying how much that link between infections and hospitalizations has been broken. And I think they should just bite the bullet, really, because, I mean, at the end of the day, you get different variants all the time with different viruses, and you end up having to live with them. And I think, that's what we're just going to have to do here, really. I got an attitude.
With Mission Impossible 442 filming recently in the wonderful moors, can you tell us, do you think that when that film is released, there'll be a resurgence of people visiting the local area where Tom was doing his filming?
Yes, I do. With that one, and of course Indiana Jones as well with Harrison Ford. So that's two big wins for the North York Moors Railway and for that whole area in general. I think we've talked before, haven't we, about the Harry Potter influence. You go further up the coast, and just a few years ago they were filming Atonement up on the beach, using it for the Normandy landings scenes. And it's a really good place for films. But I think coming out of this horrible year and a bit that we've had, that's hit organisations like North York Moors Railway really badly, the fact that they've been able to score those two big wins to really put them back on the map, because of course I'm sure they'll appear in the film credits for anybody that sits long enough to see those.
Yeah,
they are things that the railway can carry on using for quite a few years afterwards.
Definitely.
This is where Mission Impossible was filmed. This is where Indiana Jones was filmed. I mean, they're big money tickets as far as the cinema's concerned. They're massive profile events for the county, and it's just wonderful. And I think people will be going to see those places for quite a time to come. I'm sure they will.
So for anybody listening right now that runs a business or maybe a B&B somewhere or perhaps a destination place to go to, what would you say to those guys? What would you say for them to get in touch with Visiting North Yorkshire to help you help them?
Well, I would definitely say keep advertising. I mean, not specifically with us, but I'd be crazy to say with somebody else. So preferably with us, but keep advertising, because it's very easy to get complacent at the moment because it's been so hard and so difficult, and quite a lot have gone to the wall, but at the same time some new ones have emerged. Right now people are seeing a bit of a surge of bookings. They're chocker, and that's absolutely fantastic, and we're pleased for them. Our members are seeing that, non-members are seeing that, and that's absolutely brilliant for the economy, for the region, for the county, and everything. It's brilliant, but it's very easy to get complacent with that and say, oh, we're so full, we don't need to advertise. And that's great, but you've got to remember it's the tourism industry across the whole of the UK that's in the same position. Everybody is getting the people in, but as soon as those foreign holidays start coming back online, then you're probably going to find that that drops off to a certain extent as people are getting the option to go on their foreign holidays again. And if you haven't engaged in that advertising up to that point, you might see it dropping off very, very quickly. And that's not what you need. You don't need huge peaks followed by depressingly large troughs. You need to keep it up, but consistent, because, you know, otherwise it's not a way to run a business, is it, with peaks and troughs all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were talking, if I may, we were talking to a lady that's got a B&B in one of the outlying villages just north of Thirsk. She's only on her second year, and of course the first year was last year, which was horrendous. Busy June, July, she opted not to promote, and now she's empty for the last 3 weeks of August. I'm sure it won't stay that way, but she's panicking. She's worried. Others in the village are booked up, but because she's only been there a short time, she's not developed that little network with the other people. So if they're full, they don't really know her to say, have you tried this lady? So she's got some empty weeks in August at the minute, and she's a little bit worried. I would say advertise, always advertise, regardless of how your business is going. Keep yourself noticed, keep yourself present, and advertise with Visiting North Yorkshire, because, by word, we do a lot more for you than a lot of other people do.
Absolutely. From God's own country, Ian from Visiting North Yorkshire, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
YO1 Radio Lunchtime.